To keep me from becoming conceited because of the surpassing greatness of the revelations, a thorn was given me in the flesh, a messenger of Satan to harass me, to keep me from becoming conceited. It is Tuesday, the 25th day of October 2022, and it's time for the reading of our devotional thought for today. And I'm reading from the devotional book, Truth for Life, by pastor and author Alistair Begg. Today's devotional thought is entitled, A Thorn in the Flesh. And the verse today, 2 Corinthians chapter 12, verse 7, and it reads, To keep me from becoming conceited because of the surpassing greatness of the revelations, a thorn was given me in the flesh, a messenger of Satan to harass me, to keep me from becoming conceited. That's 2 Corinthians chapter 12, verse 11. Alistair Begg writes, If you gather many talented musicians who are only interested in their individual parts, you won't have an orchestra. What you will produce is mere discordant noise, an affront to the listening ear. However, when that giftedness is exercised in selflessness and humility under the leadership of a conductor and the rule of a score, you get beautiful, harmonious music. Just as a musician desire for individual greatness in the death knell of orchestral usefulness, it is with our Christian faith. A spiritual gift should never be source of pride, because after all, it's a gift. Yet we are often tempted to take God-given gifts and attribute them to ourselves as if we developed or deserved them, or to use them for ourselves as if they were ours. This puts us in an extreme danger of cherishing exaggerated ideas about our own importance, and those with the most significant gifts are typically in the greatest danger. Paul himself had to face this temptation. He was particularly bright, had a strong education, was from the best kind of background, and was influential in many lives. See Philippians chapter 3, verses 4, 5, and 6. When taking on false prophets of the day, who were making elaborate claims about their knowledge of God, Paul honestly described having seen extraordinary visions in 2 Corinthians chapter 12, verse 2 and 4. He was a prime target for an inflated ego. What protected him from that? A thorn in his flesh. He does not specify precisely what it was, and so we would be wise not to speculate. What matters is not what it was so much as what it achieved. For Paul recognized that this thorn in the flesh was a humbling reminder from God of his inherent weakness, given that he would not boast about his own importance, and so that he would continue to rely on God. Like the false teachers Paul addressed, we are often tempted to allow our influence and apparent success, whether great or small, to serve as the means by which we judge our worth. Eventually, however, such temporary matters will be exposed as temporary and will fade away. In the providence and goodness of God, Paul's thorns helps us to understand our own difficulties such as illness, financial lack, relational challenges, the effort of raising children, and even the ongoing struggle with sin. God knows what He's doing when He allows these necessary, uncomfortable, unrelenting elements in our lives. Better to be a humble believer beset by thorns than a proud, self-reliant, no longer believer unplagued by anything. We need to know our own weaknesses in order to continue to rely on God's grace for our eternal salvation and God's power for our daily lives. The question then is not whether the thorns will come to you, but whether you will allow God to use your thorn to remind you that He alone is the source of your gifts and the one who makes you spiritually useful. How we thank God, and we should thank God for the thorns that He allows into our lives, because it will keep us humble and truly it will keep us usable. And that should be the desire of every Spirit-filled believer, to be usable by the King of Kings and the Lord of Lords, and to count it a privilege to be used by our Lord Jesus Christ. Well, that concludes our devotional thought for today, a thorn in the flesh. And for those of you going through the Bible in a year, 2 Samuel chapter 1 and 2, and 1 Timothy chapter 5, and may the Lord richly bless you. My name is Scott Walsh.